morning everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Amy here, and today I have a very exciting video for you. As you would have seen from the title, today we're going to be doing another reading like video, and the person we're going to be doing this time is Jean from Jean Bookish Thoughts. Very exciting times here on the channel. Jean is actually one of my oldest booktube friends. We met way back in 2013 when I first started my booktube channel. If I can find a picture of us way back when, I will put one here because we look like little babies. It's hilarious. It's been such a pleasure to see Jean grow and all of the things that she has achieved over the years. She's an author now. It's just amazing. So if you don't follow her for any reason, I will leave her linked all around. You can go and find her and follow her in all of the places. As with tradition, I have asked Jean for a list of books that she thinks that I should read, some of her absolute favourites. And so what are we going to be reading this week? The first book I'm going to be reading is Daughter of the Forest by Juliet Marillier. I'm really excited for this one because actually I am a little bit embarrassed to say that this has been on my Amazon wish list for years because of Jean, because she recommended it to me years and years ago, but because it's been right at the bottom of the list, I just never scroll that far because there are a lot of books on that list. And so now I'm really glad that this has actually pushed me and given me the opportunity and reminded me that that is actually a book that I've wanted to read for a really long time. The second book that we're going to be reading is The Majesties by Tiffany Chow. This book is a contemporary thriller and definitely one that when I read the back sounded very intriguing to me. And the final book that we're going to be reading is The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter by Theodora Goss. It's got Jekyll and Hyde, Watson and Holmes type things going on there. I think it's more of a mystery, like a historical fiction kind of thing. Definitely up my street. I'm going to be listening to that one on audiobook on my way to work. So hopefully we'll read all of these books in this week and I'll share all of my thoughts with you as I go along. Jean, you've done an amazing job of choosing such an array of genres. We've got the fantasy, the contemporary fiction, a bit of historical mystery. Definitely all things I'm super excited about. So yeah, today is currently Bank Holiday Monday in the UK. So myself and my partner Mark are going to travel down to Cornwall for a little bit of a day out. I'll take you along so you can see some of the sights with us, and then I'll check back in once I've read some of the books. See you later. Just arrived now at Trellisset Gardens in Cornwall. It's a National Trust place and it's just beautiful. Look at this lovely orange plant behind me. We've got Mark as well.
Not so orange.
Not so orange. Everyone, so I thought I'd quickly jump on and update you on the reading we've done so far. So I've been listening to The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter. I've actually been listening to that this morning and I'm really enjoying that one so far. I love how it pulls together so many different well-known gothic and kind of horror-esque classics. So we've got things like Frankenstein mentioned, Dr. Moreau, we've got Van Helsing in there, Sherlock Holmes and Watson. Like, the more it goes on, the more I keep picking up on like different classic things that I recognise in this book, and I think it's really cleverly put together. The story itself is built around the children of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and so they've met each other and they're on a bit of an investigation with Holmes and Watson because there have been some murders in London. It's great so far. I'm really enjoying the audiobook. Also been reading The Majesties. I think I'm about 100 and something pages into this one. I'm enjoying it. What I like is that it feels a little bit like My Sister the Serial Killer. Again, the story of this one is built around two sisters, and at the very beginning you learn they're all at a party together and they've all been murdered, and it says there at the very beginning that the sister has poisoned the whole family and they've all died. And the main character who we read through, the sister of this person, she is the only remaining survivor, and we then go back in her memory and we're piecing things together and she's coming to the realization as to why her sister may have killed her whole family. And I've also been reading Daughter of the Forest. I think this one is taking me slightly longer to get into. I've read maybe like 150 pages so far and I'm not feeling like super into it. Like, I'm kind of just like, okay, not much has happened so far. So essentially we've been introduced to this family of 6 brothers and 1 daughter, and we read through the perspective of the daughter, and essentially we've learnt learned so far about the family, about the land that they live in, the fact that the mother passed away when the daughter was born, and the daughter has like herbalism skills, so she is able to heal people and help people, and she has some kind of like connection with the forest, as in like she sees like the fair folk and things like that. So far that's all that's really happened, and I feel like it's going to be one that takes me a little bit longer to get into. Also, I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to be able to finish it in this week because it's just taking me a little bit longer than I expected to kind of read. So yeah, that's my update so far. I will catch up with you when I've read some more. See you later. Bye. Good morning everyone, it's now Friday. These weeks are absolutely flying by this year. I cannot believe we're already in June. We're only 5 weeks away from our wedding. My brain cannot actually take how quickly this year is going. It's absolutely crazy. So where am I with the books? I finished reading The Majesties. I really enjoyed that one come the end. I think the whole way through it was a solid 3-star, but the ending definitely picked it up for me. By the end I was absolutely wolfing it down. There is a slight twist at the end, which I kind of thought was going to happen, but even though I kind of guessed what was going to happen, I still enjoyed it, and I feel like that definitely made the whole novel a little bit more interesting. I really enjoyed the discussions on race, specifically in Indonesia and the Indonesian communities, and how the Indonesian communities are kind of built up of the different communities from around Asia. I'm assuming it's somewhat accurate in the peoples that are actually making up Indonesia. I thought that was really interesting. I also really loved the discussions on wealth and power, and how the family that these two sisters are a part of are extremely wealthy. One of the plot lines in this book is a financial crisis which hits the community and the whole of this area, and this family and the other wealthy families that they are friends with are very clearly in the position where they are somewhat aware of this crisis coming, so they make themselves comfortable, they get themselves houses and places and ferret money away in places far away so that they can still sit through the crisis whilst watching their country basically fall into complete poverty and disarray. The sisters and other members of their family clearly have issue with the wealth and power that their family holds and the things that they are able to do with their power, and they kind of question it, and I thought that was a really interesting and thought-provoking aspect of the story. So yeah, I did really enjoy that one come the end, and I think it's one that I'd want to reread again so that I could pick up on all the things that I didn't see the first time. So I would definitely recommend it. I think I'll finish The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter today on my walk to work. And I'm about halfway through Daughter of the Forest, and I'm really sad to say that I'm not really enjoying it, which really surprises me because when I looked on the Goodreads review, they're all really high-star reviews. I don't know what it is, it just doesn't seem to be gelling with me at all. I'm finding the story to be quite dense and quite like slow. Essentially the story is based on a fairy tale known as The Six Swans, I think. So I mentioned before that we've got our main character who's a young girl. She's got 6 brothers, and her brothers have been cursed with a spell and something's happened to them, and basically we're now with her, and in order to break the spell she has to stay silent. She's not allowed to say anything, and she has to do this task which causes her a lot of pain and it's very hard for her to do. But that's been going on for hundreds of pages and not much else is happening, and I'm just not feeling connected to it. I'm not feeling connected to the story. I honestly think I could stop reading it now and not be particularly bothered that I haven't finished it. So I'm going to keep giving it a go. I'm going to try giving it another 100 pages, and if I'm still not feeling fully into it, I think I will DNF it, which... Sorry, Jean, I know this is like one of your like most favourite books. I'm really surprised because on paper it seems like a book that I would 100% love. So I don't know what's going on, but maybe it's just not my time with this book. So I will update you all once I've read a bit more. See you later. Bye. Sid's upset because I've moved him off my chair so that I can film the end of this video. He was having a lovely cuddly time. Welcome back everyone. Let's close up the end of this reading vlog. So I would say we've had a pretty successful week. We've had 2 4-star reads. I finished reading The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter yesterday. I loved the audiobook of that one. It was fun, it was feminist, it was just full of so much happiness. All the way along I just had a really good time. I believe this one is the first in a series because the ending definitely left it as if they could continue it and that there were going to be more adventures to come. There was more mention of of Van Helsing at the end of this book, and Van Helsing is one that I really find quite interesting, so I'm definitely keen to continue and find out what happens in the next book. Now sadly, I have decided to DNF The Daughter of the Forest because I just was not getting on with that book at all, and I'm a firm believer in not pushing yourself to read things that aren't gelling with you. I know that if I continue trying to read that book that I would definitely have got into a reading slump. So sadly that's the only book that didn't quite go as planned this week. I did get 350 pages through it, but there were another like over 300 pages left and I just couldn't see myself enjoying it all that much. Maybe it's one that I'll return to in the future. Who knows what will happen, but for the minute I'm definitely not going to be reading it anytime soon. So there we are, that is the end of another reading like video. If you want to see my other videos that I've done in this series, head over to my vlog playlist on my channel. Have you read any of these books? Come and have a chat with me in the comments. As always, I will leave links to everything I've mentioned today down below. I hope you're all having a lovely day and I will see you soon. Bye!